so that he could use them to terrorize people. And the same is going on today with the king of New York, Mayor Michael Bloomberg, a one percenter, a billionaire who thinks he can just do whatever he wants to do. You know, these corrupt politicians, man, they need to be looking over their shoulders. All right. They need to be worried about what's going to happen if they show their faces in public. They are waging war against us. All right. They are enslaving us. And I don't know what is it going to take for people to start respecting us as human beings. What is it going to take? Is it going to take violent retaliation, as you heard in that track I just played? Do we need to start a riot, all right, to get some respect up in this joint? What has to happen? I'm all ears. I'm all open for ideals. And granted, you don't have to put everything out there that you might be planning out in the public sphere. You can have those private conversations, but you need to wake up. You need to wake up. This country, man, I tell you, it is the worst country on earth, despite the BS that you keep hearing about it being a shining light of democracy. That is pure BS. Okay? So, definitely going to keep reporting on this story about what's going on with this stop and frisk trial up there in New York. But people need to wake up. All right? You can't bury your head in the sand and think, oh, well, if I just keep myself out of trouble, if I don't go here, if I don't go there, then it won't happen to me. Well, that's a cowardly way to look at it. But, there's no guarantees. If you're wearing the wrong skin, then you know what? You're a target. You're a target. Unless, you're going to hold up somewhere and never come out the house. And, who can do that? You got to go to work sometimes. You got to go buy some food sometimes. What about your children? What about your other relatives and loved ones? We shouldn't be standing up for rights just because, something has happened to us. We need to be standing up for rights because it is the right thing to do. We do got a phone call. I want to take this phone call. Area code 410. You are on Black Talk Radio News with Scotty Reed. Give us your name and go ahead with your question or comment.
I'm listening to your radio program. See, I gotta say, this is fear-mongering you're doing. Those black kids who are being stopped on the street are indeed smoking marijuana. The black men who are stopped on the street for carrying guns are the ones who are committing the crime. What are we supposed to do? Give them a pass because they're black?
Okay, are you a black person?
Excuse me?
Are you a black person?
Of course.
Okay, what do you mean by of course you're a black person? White people listen to this program too, and I can't tell by, I'm not psychic or I don't, can't tell a person's ethnicity. Well, let me ask you this question. That's not important. Where do you get your facts from that people being stopped are smoking weed or have guns? Okay, so where do you get that information from?
Well, let's just look at the number of murders that have been committed in New York.
Well, first, let's answer the question. Let's answer the question. No, let's deal in facts. I asked you a question. Where did you get your information from?
Let me see. From the newspapers, from reports, from
what reports?
The Robert Wood Johnson report. I get my information from numerous sources. I don't just take it from one place. I look around. But if the people, for instance, in the past 20 years, 230,000 black men have been murdered by 230,000 black men. Not the police, not the KKK. They murdered each other.
And white people murder each other, and Hispanics murder each other.
About white people.
But you want to deal in stereotypes. You want to deal in stereotypes, okay? And
that's not a stereotype. It's a fact.
Well, it's a fact that all races.
It's not a stereotype.
It is a stereotype. Okay, more white people get murdered because there's more of them. And anybody
We're not
in this
talking about
country.
white people. We're talking about this genocidal behavior.
Okay, so why should black people be singled out? Why are you singling out black people? Why are you singling out black people when it's a problem among all ethnic groups?
Why were you singling out black males?
Because the NYPD is targeting them. And let's talk about some facts.
Absolutely not true.
Let's talk about some facts.
I mean, this
Let's talk about some facts.
Paranoia will destroy you.
Let's talk about some facts. Let's talk about the NYPD's I want to talk about the NYPD's own data. Now, if you go to the ACLU of New York, if you go to stopandfrisklawsuit.com, the NYPD's own statistical data shows that most of the people who are stopped are not even issued so much of a ticket. Okay? So much, they don't even get a ticket for doing anything wrong. This is the NYPD's own data. Okay, so obviously you haven't done any research whatsoever, but you tuned in to the right program if you want to hear some facts. Because I don't deal in conjecture. I don't repeat what I see in the mainstream corporate media, which has an agenda. No, I go by the data. I go by the facts. Okay, and so for anybody
who commits the most murders in New York.
Who commits the most murders in New York?
Uh-huh.
Well, according to New York, murders are at an all-time low. Excuse me. According to the NYPD's own statistics, murders are at an all-time low.
That's correct. But now we're not saying, we're asking who is committing the majority of these murders.
Who's committing the majority of the murders worldwide?
What do you mean, why?
Worldwide. Who is committing murders
New
worldwide?
York City.
No, we're going to talk about the whole world, okay? Apparently, you are a self-hating black person, all right? If you are black, so you're sitting up here saying,
over and over again.
Hey, if you're going to sit up here and say black people deserve to be targeted, and that the Constitution does not apply to them, Fourth Amendment.
What are you talking about? If chickens are committing murder, why would I stop turkeys? I'm going to ask for chickens. You got a gun?
So white people don't commit murders.
We're not talking about white people.
But it's relevant to the conversation. So white people don't commit crime, huh? You gonna tell me white people? What about Wall Street? You want to talk about smoking weed? What about them criminal bankers on Wall Street? Thank you for your call, self-hating black person. Okay, I can't have a conversation with a self-hating black person, and I'm not going to be over-talking someone, and someone's not going to be over-talking me. This person just admitted that they get their information from the mainstream media. They couldn't cite any studies that they have read. They haven't cited any sources. No, they want to deal in stereotypes. Okay? The United States government is the biggest murderer in this world. The biggest war-mongering country worldwide. You want to talk about I'm fear-mongering? No, I'm reporting the facts. I just played an audio clip of NYPD cops telling you they're being told to target black boys from ages 14 to 21. Did you hear that clip? That is from these cops. Okay? That is from these cops who are opposed to this criminal stuff that's going on with the NYPD. Call into this program with that garbage. No, you got the wrong one, lady. Okay, go listen to Rush Limbaugh. Go listen to somebody else. But you're not going to call into this program with propaganda. And then you're telling me you don't even know none of the reports. You've done no research whatsoever. You call your information from the mainstream media. What are you reading? Fox News? Because again, go to stopandfrisklawsuit.com and look at the data. Talking about people walking around smoking weed. Oh man, ain't nobody walking around outside smoking weed. And if they were, what is it to you? They are not harming you. You probably drink. You sound like an alcoholic. What's the difference? With your slurred speech, you want to talk about my limited vocabulary. What? See what I'm saying? That's the epitome of a self-hating black person. If I'm to believe that was a black person. Probably one of those conservatives. I'm fear mongering. No, I'm telling people to wake up to the reality that there is a war against us and has been. Who's committing all the crime? Well, according to the research that has been done, you want to talk about drugs. 13% of black Americans admit to using drugs. 13% of white Americans admit to using drugs. Then why is it that only the black people is getting locked up for it? Huh? Why the disparity in the incarceration rates? You better wake up. White supremacy is real. The war against black people is real. So you can sit up in your little ivory tower and think that it won't affect you or your kids or your grandkids. Keep thinking that until it happens, because they'll be coming for you. You are not immune, because black women are also an increasing target of the prison plantation. You're listening to Black Talk Radio News. We broadcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 o'clock p.m. We'll be right back.